Good afternoon, Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in to our fourth Facebook Live Q&A featuring small business innovators. We have been so proud to launch this series in partnership with J. Brown Realtors. This is our second week that we're finishing up these great interviews. So I'm so privileged today to be joined by the two Pink Magnolias, Jennifer Stiver and Becky Stiver, owners of Two Pink Magnolias Gift Boutique in downtown Newton. But you'll hear from them in just a minute. I also want to introduce Jay Brown, who's the owner of J. Brown Realtors. Like I said, who is served as our sponsor for kicking this off in the month of May. So Jay, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being our sponsor.
Thank you, Lindsay. Good to be here. Thank you, Jennifer and Becky, for being on here today. Very excited again to hear from another small business. I know that there's going to be lots of stuff that we get to talk about today, so I'm going to turn it back over to you. And again, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jay, very much. If we haven't ever had a chance to meet, those of you that are on here, I'm Lindsay Kiesler. I'm president and CEO of the Chamber of Catawba County. It is such a humbling privilege to serve in this role on behalf of the business community. And like I said, what a privilege it is to feature small business innovators. You know, the last 8 weeks, or who's counting, 8-9 weeks have been unprecedented, and our businesses have been challenged beyond anything that they've ever experienced. But certainly I have seen resilience and creativity and innovation, and you're going to get to hear from two individuals today that have truly pivoted and shifted to adapt the way they bring their products to their customers. And I'm talking about Jennifer Stiver and Becky Stiver. But first, I want to remind you to engage with us. So the way this works really best to get most people to watch this video is if you share. So well, first of all, I'd like for you to comment. I want to test the comments to make sure that we're going to be able to see them, because during the live, if you're on here and you have a question for our speakers, we'd love for you to ask it to them through the comments. So I've got my phone here. Becky, Jennifer, you've got yours. They're going to share it on their page as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to share the video live on my page right now to give you an opportunity to share. And we do have some viewers. So if you're watching, tell us where you're watching from so that we can check to make sure that we're going to see the comments as they come through. So if you're watching, maybe you're at home working remotely, maybe you're in your office and you're back returning to work, which is a wonderful thing. Show us a comment to ensure that we're getting those comments. If you're watching, excuse me. All right, perfect. Thank you guys very much for testing that for us. All right, secondly, give us some likes, hearts, and wows. Can you hear us okay? Give us some likes, hearts, and wows. And then finally, like I said, share the video or start a watch party. That's another way for people to hear and engage with our special guests. So again, thank you to J. Brown Realtors for being our sponsor. And now I have the privilege of introducing my special guests. So Jennifer and Becky Stiver, they are a mother-daughter duo and also owners of the gift boutique, Two Pink Magnolias in the historic downtown Newton. They just celebrated 10 years of being in business, which is an incredible milestone. Congratulations, you guys. They are a Hallmark Gold Crown store, and they offer many popular brands, including Vera Bradley, Spartina, Brighton, Corksicle, and Happy Everything. Becky retired after 30 years as a teacher in the Newton Conover school system. She's a graduate of UNC Greensboro and gained her first retail experience working for Dellinger's department store. Post-retirement, she went back into retail while they were living in Camden, South Carolina, and gained buying experience while volunteering at a local hospital gift shop. After 10 years of being retired, this is really awesome, Becky. After 10 years of being retired, she became an entrepreneur, and she started Two Pink Magnolias in partnership with Jennifer Stiver, her daughter. Jennifer, who also is joining us today, has an undergraduate business degree from UNC Chapel Hill and an MBA from UNC Charlotte. Go Niners. She has worked in the retail industry for over 20 years, with her first retail job at the Limited 2 when she was 16. In addition to managing Two Pink Magnolias, Jennifer is a regional sales manager for a Fortune 500 consumer healthcare company. She currently serves on our board of directors at the Chamber and is chairman of the Newton Business Advisory Committee. So welcome, you guys. Thanks for being on here with me today.
Thanks for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, first, to kick us off, as we've normally done, we want to do some rapid fire get to know Becky and Jennifer in less than 5 minutes. All right. So I've got some questions. You guys ready for this?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. And those of you on Facebook, give them some likes and hearts if you can hear them. So Becky, first question, what is your favorite beverage before 5:00 p.m.?
That would be Coke.
Coca-Cola girl. All right, Jennifer, what about after 5:00 p.m.? What's your favorite beverage?
A New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
We have shared some New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc together
Yeah.
at Carolina Vines in downtown Newton. All right, Jennifer, what's the best thing? What do you feel like is the best thing about Catawba County?
I think it's the ability to get involved. We're big enough to matter, but small enough that individuals can make a difference. And I love being involved here.
Love it. Becky, what's one cause that's near and dear to your heart?
That would have to be breast cancer research.
Jennifer, beach or the mountains?
Beach.
Becky, chocolate or vanilla?
No choice here. Chocolate.
All right, Jennifer, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
See the future.
Oh, me too. Becky, what's your favorite scented candle?
Lavender.
Jennifer, what is your favorite title that you hold?
Entrepreneur.
Becky, early bird or night owl?
After retirement, night owl.
Okay. All right, Jennifer, what's the last book that you read?
The President is Missing.
Becky, if you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Party planning.
Party gal. Jennifer, coffee or tea?
Neither.
What's your preferred? What's your preferred other than New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc?
Any from New Zealand are good.
I like it. All right, Becky, what's one thing you've learned from working with your daughter?
I have learned that we make a terrific team. She caters to one age group, I can cater to the other, and we complement each other.
I would have to agree in watching you guys run your business so well. Jennifer, all right, what's one thing that you've learned by working with your mom?
That we dress alike more than I would have ever realized.
So you're saying that you
We did not plan the coordinated colors today.
I love it. All right, Becky, describe entrepreneurship in one word.
Opportunities.
Great. And Jennifer, same to you. Describe entrepreneurship in one word.
Brave.
Brave. Awesome. Well, you guys have certainly seized opportunities and you've certainly been brave over the last 8 weeks. And we're going to talk about that. So speaking of, what is your perspective on COVID-19? How has it impacted your business, Jennifer?
So we saw an almost immediate impact to our business. As soon as schools were canceled, our store traffic went down immediately. Our sales probably dropped 75% over the course of just a couple of days. And we had to close our store within about 2 weeks of those school closures. So we lost our primary avenue for generating retail. And then just the overall revenue decline as a result of that.
And I know you guys, you guys are certainly representative of retail in general, retail industry across America, certainly across our community. But some have responded in different ways. Some have responded quickly, which I would say you guys have, and others maybe have been paralyzed with what to do next. So how did you guys respond?
Yeah, so one of the first things we did was implement and communicate cleaning procedures throughout the store. That was really important to do early on. We also reduced our store hours. We had fewer people shopping, so we had to reduce those hours. We added delivery services for our local customers. We also added curbside pickup. We tried to be as understanding of everybody's situation and their comfort level of the current situation. And then we also launched a website, which is something that had been on our to-do list for probably 8 to 10 years. And this really forced us into finally making that happen.
That's incredible. So how quickly did you launch that site?
So in about 3 days,
Wow.
we put that site together. Yep.
That's impressive. And I love how you said it's been on our kind of nice to-do list for some time. And this disruption sort of pushed you over the edge. I think a lot of us probably have a couple things on our list that, and how we can relate to that, how it was sort of like a nice to do. And then this sort of pushed you into that space. So what helped you to respond so quickly? You know, what was it in you that instead of looking around and saying, what do we do? You know, we've been forced to make these, been forced to reduce our hours, been forced to accommodate our customers in different ways. What forced you to switch so quickly versus being paralyzed and not knowing what to do next?
Yeah, so the great thing about being a small business is the flexibility that you have. And, you know, we always knew we were flexible, but I think we have maxed that out over the last 6 to 8 weeks because we've been quickly able to pivot, change our product mix, meet the needs of customers. So that's the main thing. The second thing we did was a lot of scenario planning. There was a decent amount of predictability for the different options and the different stages that our state has approached. This COVID crisis, and you knew things were going to go one way or the other. So we already had our decisions made based on what those responses or announcements were going to be, and we were quickly able to react because we didn't have to think through those decisions.
That's great. So really trying to understand, you know, even though there are a lot of assumptions, a lot of opinions, you knew certain things were happening, could be able to predict and then adapt and respond. So how did you adjust your product offerings to respond to changing customer needs?
Some of our product needs came from items that we were looking for and could not find in the area, such as sanitizer and masks. Now, we wish we had brought in toilet paper, but we did have a resource for that one. But our customers, once they found out we had the sanitizer and the masks, I mean, we had immediate responses, and we couldn't have sanitizer for a shipment, but even having it on our webpage, we had immediate responses for people to order and pick that up here at the store or have it delivered. We also had a surprise, which were our jigsaw puzzles. And we had always had the Hallmark puzzles, but we found that people were starting to order the puzzles. So we immediately got in touch with our vendors, and believe it or not, it was very difficult to get puzzles into our store. So finally we received a shipment. I think this was only been about a week ago, with several weeks of trying to get them, and those have steadily sold as well. So those were the main 3 items that really changed for the store: the increase in puzzles and the addition of the sanitizer and the mask.
That's really neat that you guys thought, and again, predicting customer needs as well, and additional product offerings that you could provide that someone would need, just like hand sanitizer. And we do have a question from Facebook. So I'm going to incorporate that now. So based on what you know now, is there anything else you wish you would have jumped into initially?
Well, that's actually a really tough question.
That's a toughie. That's a toughie.
That was one.
Toilet paper. Toilet paper. Yes. Yes. Well, like I said, I think you guys have done really, really well. So what, in addition to various changes in your product offerings, you started up your new website. How did you train your customers to find you online on your new website versus them used to being in your going to your physical space? How did you drive traffic to that website?
So we significantly increased our communications to our customers. We typically do a weekly email, but we started emailing them a couple times a week so that they would know what was being added to the website, and just constantly communicating all of the options for our customers to be able to order and get products. We were also taking phone orders, email orders, Facebook Messenger orders, however you wanted to get to us. But something really fun that we did to drive some traffic to the website was we created what we called a 2 p.m. break, and 2 p.m. was just a play off of our name, Two Pink Magnolias. And we did that every weekday at 2 o'clock, also off the 2 p.m. name. And we put a riddle or a joke on our Facebook page or some sort of a puzzle every single day. And then we put the answers on our website. So if you wanted to know the answers, you had to go. So that really helped us drive traffic to the site as well.
That's really clever and really smart. You don't have any riddles or jokes off the top of your head to share since it's 2 p.m., you know? Anything?
I don't think, oh my gosh, we put together like 40 of them. So I don't have one that's on the top of my head.
I think I saw one that was like 3 blind mice and it was a word puzzle. So very, very neat. Really, really smart. So I know you have to have some interesting stories and customer interactions over the last 8 weeks. Do you have any of those that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, we'll each give you a story that was fairly interesting. So one of the benefits of creating our website gave us a better avenue to reach an enthusiast group for one of the product lines that we carry in our store called Happy Everything. And there's a Facebook group out there, and I mean, true enthusiasts looking for pieces of this product line. And someone was asking for a particular attachment. It was a sombrero hat. We had had these attachments in our store in inventory for over 5 years. And one person asked for it. We posted the link directly to the item on our website. We sold 9 of them in about an hour and a half. So we've had a lot of luck with that group, but that's just been an unexpected consequence of being able to have that website up and running.
That's really neat.
You want to share?
Did you?
I had the privilege of answering the phone with all of the questions and requests for orders. I had the phone here at the store transferred to my cell phone. So it took a little while for customers to get used to the fact I was probably at home in my pajamas answering, their calls. And I made some great friendships with people in the area, and especially with the lady from Virginia. In her request, she decided that she loved the idea of our Mother's Day survival kit that we placed online. She just wanted to change a couple items that were in there. And so our stories just kept growing as we were talking to each other. She was sending this to her godmother that lived here in Newton. She had never been to Newton. She had been to this family's lake home years and years ago. But she was born in Panama, and that was where this lady that was receiving the gift, she and her husband were in Panama, and she was selected to be the godmother of this new baby.
Oh,
and this was my customer in Virginia.
How special.
We had such a nice time learning about her story and also learning about Newton as well. And I certainly invited her, to come visit her godmother and to surely visit with us in our store.
That is what a neat story, Becky. And you said that this customer was in Virginia. So without the website, I mean, she couldn't have patronized you guys before COVID-19. So how interesting that, now you're sort of thrust and expanded to a whole new customer base through the internet.
I asked her, I said, how did you find out about us? And she said, I just started researching. And she said, I read your reviews and I could tell you were honest.
Oh, that's great. Hey, that's a good point that you mentioned reviews. Reviews are so critically important. And that's another way we as community members can support businesses during this time is putting a good review out there, whether it's on Facebook or Google. I know there are several businesses in our community that can assist you in asking your customers for more reviews. So that's awesome. So clearly your customers have given unsolicited good reviews, which is really, really special. We do have another comment from Facebook, and thank you guys for engaging with us. They're commenting on how they love the logo behind you. So I know I mentioned in your bio, this is year number 10. This is your decade anniversary of being in business. And I know as a chamber, you guys honored us by inviting us to be a part of your logo unveiling on your 10-year anniversary. So Jennifer, you want to talk about your new logo?
Sure. So we launched the logo in February to celebrate the 10th anniversary, and we did a huge Facebook Live unveiling. It was so exciting because we hadn't touched the logo since we originally opened the business. So it's a great way to mark that milestone.
And if you don't know, the viewers don't know, they are actually participating in this live interview from their store. So evidently, I think they're in the Vera Bradley department, if I'm not mistaken, right, ladies?
Yes.
That is correct. And we have a stores about 8 feet away right now.
Which is really awesome, really awesome. So truly, working while also telling your story. That's pretty cool. That also would be another descriptor of entrepreneurship, right? Multitasking.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, so I want to shift gears a little bit. And through COVID-19, the CARES Act, federal government has created opportunities for businesses to help bridge the gap when it comes to cash. And as a part of that, they rolled out the Paycheck Protection Program. You guys, I know, have applied and have utilized the PPP. If you want to share to our viewers just sort of firsthand experience of how that process was like, and then how are you utilizing that PPP loan?
Sure. So we applied for the PPP loan, which of course was very nerve-wracking because we didn't get our approval until we had already heard that funds had run out. But we were very grateful to get the approval so that we could redeploy that money and get some of our employees back on staff. However, we had several employees for various reasons that did not want to come back. But part of the PPP loan is that you have to maintain that same level of employment, and it starts the day that that money is dispersed into your account. So this is one of those times where we had already been doing some scenario planning, and we knew it was a possibility that everybody wouldn't be able to come back. So I ended up hiring my friend and her daughter to help us with the website, which was actually a much more productive use of payroll than paying people to stay at home for a couple weeks while we couldn't get back open. So then we did bring back 2 of our existing staff members. We had one of them doing just odd and end inventory, various projects in the store, things that could be done easily while we were closed. And then we had another one making phone calls. As a Hallmark store, we have Hallmark keepsake ornaments, and this is a really big deal when they launch in July. So we had somebody calling and obtaining wish lists for those keepsake ornaments. So trying to find some ways to generate some revenue, even though we won't get that revenue until July, putting that time used wisely to help generate sales for us.
Really, really smart, really smart. And that's good advice for others that have accepted those loans. And we did have a webinar a week and a half ago. If you didn't have a chance, and I'm talking to our viewers now, if you didn't have a chance to listen to that live, we partnered with Eben Concepts and Broom Associates to discuss utilization of the PPP to ensure that loan, that those monies are forgivable. So the forgiveness piece is so critical. So make sure you go on catabachamber.org/COVID-19 or go to catabachamber.org. Right on our front page, you can scroll down and watch that recording. Highly, highly recommend that. All right, ladies, leaning towards reopening. So as of last Friday, the governor said that we're going to enter into phase 1 of reopening our economy, which also enabled you guys to open your doors to the public. And I know you have taken extra steps to ensure the safety, health, and well-being of your employees and customers. So maybe describe a little bit of that. How did that preparing for reopening happen, and what sort of processes have you implemented in order to keep your space safe?
Luckily, we had already started some implementation before we had the store opening. We opened at 5 o'clock last Friday and had customers waiting and ready to come in, but our plan was already in place. We had our sanitizer spray at the door. So we had someone waiting at the door to spray hands before they came on in. We had already notified our customers through email and Facebook that we would require mask or face coverings. If they came in and did not have one, we did have those on hand. We had directional arrows on the floor to kind of keep traffic moving in a one-way direction. We also had spots X'd in the card section and in front of our checkout counter so that people would stay 6 feet apart. So those were the main items that we were covering. And we also had sanitizer sprays throughout the store. If someone had touched something and they wanted to spray their hands, that was perfectly fine. We wanted our customers to feel safe. We have a lot of, I won't say elderly, but we have an older population that comes in. We wanted them to feel safe. We wanted our employees to feel safe, at least until we know where this virus is going.
Yeah.
If it's leveled out and we feel really good about the number of cases, we'll adjust our requirements as that happens.
And I think that's incredible. You guys have gone even above and beyond the guidance that's been given from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. And what an incredible example to other business owners. Also, it's a great message to remind those that are watching that business owners, it's not just about profits, right? It's certainly about livelihoods, but you guys care first and foremost for the health of your customers and your employees. And so thank you guys for what you're doing and for being a great example to your peers.
Thank you very much. We feel very strongly about this.
Yeah. And, and I've heard over the last week, I've had, numerous upon numerous questions of businesses looking, they don't just want to open, they want to open safely and they want to do it right. And so I think that's a huge testament to our community as people are out and about, that they can understand that businesses are not only open, they're open and they're trying to be safe. But we did have another comment on Facebook from one of your great customers. So clearly you guys are super great at engaging with your customers. Yvette Baumgardner says that her sweet grandbaby loved her delivery for Easter.
Yeah, we love her. She's been a long-time customer of ours.
So that's wonderful. So speaking of your customers, how have they responded to all these changes over the last 2 months?
It took a little bit of time for the customers to understand, I'm using the word cadence of what we were doing, how they could order online, they could call on the phone, they could message Jennifer, they could email Jennifer. And once they figured out all of these possibilities of getting an order, orders just kept coming in. The phone was ringing pretty much constantly all day long. Luckily, most of them were waiting till 10 o'clock and stopping around 6 o'clock. But I did have some 9 o'clock calls.
Oh, wow.
They were so appreciative of the efforts that we were taking. And as you stated earlier, I know money is important to keep the bills paid, but that was not our top priority. Our priority was taking care of our customers. And so many times the customer would say, oh, I know I'm being a bother, or I'm taking too much of your time. And I kept reminding them, that's what we do here.
Mm,
We are here for you.
mm,
And if we have to take extra time, that's okay. And they were just so sincere in their thoughts of us and our time as well. And our customers are just wonderful, wonderful people. But to drive up to a home, sometimes they were home, sometimes they were not with a delivery. Just a nice smile on their face when we dropped the item off at their door. Dogs barking, it was just a fun kind of delivery. We had one dog that met us at the door, big dog, but quite friendly, thank goodness. I left one delivery and we were doing something a little different too, because we had a sweet little note in our bags with a piece of candy. I left one at the door with the cats roaming around on the porch. I was afraid they were going to get into the candy and mess up what was inside the bag. But those deliveries were really over the top for us, but we just felt like we had to do that. And then our customers realized we were doing pickups in front of the store on Tuesdays and Fridays from 3 to 5. And if someone had a special need, we were right there to take care of it for them.
And
I think one of the
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I think one of the best testaments is we've seen multiple customers leave new reviews on our Facebook page. They've left comments. Even when people have asked how long we're going to require masks, our customers have jumped in and answered for us and showed their support for all of the safety measures that we're taking. So we really feel like we're getting this right based on the feedback we're getting from our customers.
Too, I want to give a shout out to how local government can be accommodating to business during this time. The city of Newton was really the first, if I'm not mistaken, in the county to reserve parking spots for restaurant pickup and carry out, and also for their retailers in downtown Newton, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if you guys want to give a shout out to how the city responded to assist you guys in response to the public mandates from the governor.
Sure. The city of Newton has been great. Because we weren't a restaurant, we didn't initially get a curbside sign, but nor did we plan on curbside right away. But as soon as we started offering that, we had a sign, by the next day, which was a huge help for our customers.
So a huge shout out to the city of Newton, also to the Downtown Newton Development Association. Shannon Johnson has been working very, very hard on behalf of those businesses downtown. So great example of how government can assist businesses during this crisis. Now, new normal. So we keep hearing this term of new normal. What does the landscape look beyond COVID-19? Certainly, as we're phasing into reopening, taking all the proper precautions. What has this disruption made you realize? Clearly, introducing you to a whole new audience through the internet. What things will remain the same that you've implemented during COVID-19, and what things might look a little bit different than what you've done before?
Sure. So the website is here to stay. We needed it a long time ago, and this was the push to make that happen. So next steps are, how do we grow our business through that site? We launched it primarily to serve our customers, and there really wasn't an intent to go beyond our customers initially, because we certainly didn't want to be tied up with or be overwhelmed with orders that we couldn't manage. So that will certainly continue. We will continue curbside or in-store pickup. This seems to be an offer that customers really appreciate, and I think they're going to continue to expect and want that as we go forward.
Awesome. All right, ladies, how can our viewers, those that are watching and hopefully that are sharing this video, so I want to remind you one more time, share this video so that we can have more people can hear from what a great example and how innovative and creative these two women entrepreneurs have been. How can they continue to engage with you after today, going forward? If they've never visited your store before, how can they engage?
Sure. Well, we are open Tuesday through Saturday, so we would love to have you come see us. But if you're not comfortable doing that, you can visit us on our website, which is just 2pinkmagnolias.com. You can email us at orders@2pinkmagnolias.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you need anything, we'll be back in touch with you as quickly as we possibly can. But we'd love to hear from you.
And use the phone.
Yes.
No timers, use the phone.
Now, one last question. So, as I mentioned before, you guys definitely representative of retail across our community and small business. What are some ways that you recommend to customers, general public, to support small businesses and specifically retailers during this time?
Sure. Almost every retailer is open to receiving orders however they can get them. So reach them through whatever vehicles are available. Not everybody has a website yet, but I can assure you they're happy to sell through Facebook or phone. Even just sharing social media posts, even if you're not able to buy, just share the post. And if there's a store that you love, tell everybody you know about it because that can generate additional support for those stores.
Awesome. Awesome. Ladies, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for your partnership and your support of your chamber. I feel so privileged. Thank you, Jennifer, for your leadership and serving on our board of directors. I also want to thank J. Brown Realtors again for making this possible. Oh, I don't want to miss out. We do have one more question from Facebook before I wrap up, asking if you sell gift cards. I know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you answer it.
Yes, we absolutely do. They're available on our website, in our store, or by phone call.
Awesome. And my birthday is on Monday. So if anyone wants to purchase a 2 Pink Magnolias gift card for me, I'll gladly accept. But again, thank you, J. Brown Realtors, for sponsoring this series. I want to tell you this coming Tuesday, we have another Q&A Facebook Live. We're going to have another small business innovator. Regina Stiltner with Splintique is going to be joining us at 2:00 p.m. So make sure that you tune into that. We have another one next Thursday. Check our events on Facebook. Again, thank you for your support of your chamber through this. We're in it with you. You're not alone. If we can be of assistance to you in any way, you know how to reach us. CatawbaChamber.org is our website. You can certainly find us on social media. Thank you again for everybody who's tuned in today. If you are catching the replay, you hopped on, tell us by commenting that you caught the replay. If you have any other questions or comments for 2 Pink Magnolias, for Jennifer or for Becky, throw them into the comment box and we'll make sure that they answer those for you. So thank you again for tuning in, and we are now signing off.